Louise Duffield, and I was asked to take part in the BRAID study, which was looking at dense breast tissue and whether a mammogram would pick that up or whether it needed more. And at my midterm appointments, it picked up that I had got a calcification in my breast. So that was the beginning of what actually happened to be quite a short journey, but totally out of the blue. It's something that I would never have picked up if I hadn't been taking part in the survey.
I was first diagnosed with cancer 3 years ago, and that was at stage 3B. 2.5 years ago, I had a debulking operation. That was followed by 2 cycles of chemo, and then I had some chemo, the pills that I took at home. And then there was a suggestion that I should take part in the Fontana trial. So I went through quite a lot of testing to see that I was suitable for that. And I thought I was, but then I found out at the last minute that in fact there was one of the test results didn't actually fit the criteria. I was then off the Fontana trial, which I haven't even started.
I'm 77 years old. I worked nearly all of my working life in adult social care. I started getting urinary tract infections. It had got to the stage where they were really making me quite unwell. And it was the week before Easter. It was the Thursday before Good Friday. I went for just an ultrasound. And then there was quite a little wait for a while until I then got the results from the doctor that told me that I had a something on my kidney and also a something in my lung.
My name is Ilias, and I was one of the healthy volunteers for the Mission Fumarate study.
It was my very first appointment at the hospital, and after we'd gone through what needed to happen, what it was and what they thought it was, and the likely outcomes and things like that. And we were discussing treatments and things. And the professor that I saw said to me, "We have a research project going on at the moment, and I don't know if perhaps it's something that you would be interested in." It wasn't so much the thought of actually selfishly helping other people. It was very selfishly about helping me, because I had this was so out of the blue for me. And I thought, yeah, I would really like to do that. I need to find out more about what there is out there, what helps, what doesn't help,
I had a routine mammogram and was contacted as I had dense tissue to see if I wanted to take part. And I'm a great believer, if you also take part in a study and you can, go for it. It might not help you, but it may help somebody else.
Well, that's a good question. I think somebody must have asked me if I would do it. I have no recollection of when or where or how, but obviously I thought it was a good idea and said, yes, I would do it.
The reason that I took part in the research study of Mission Fumarate as a healthy volunteer was because I have experience with research as a clinician, and I was always recruiting participants, but I never had the opportunity to take part in the study myself, and I wanted to see what this experience is like. And one day I've seen the Mission Fumarate poster in the clinical school as I was passing by, and I decided to ask the research team what it is about. They have answered all my questions, and then I decided to participate.
Well, I think in all medical things, advances are going to be made by people doing research. Otherwise, everything is going to stand still. So it just seemed the obvious thing to do. It was no problem for me.
From a very personal perspective, I found it actually quite exciting. The fact that you could, by using a scanner, actually determine what type of cancer somebody had and actually come up with a treatment plan in what is a relatively short space of time just blew my mind. I mean, that was just incredible to me.
I think it is just about the more research, the more we look into things that are not just fixing the problems, but looking at root causes, I think the better.
One of the things that has stuck with me through all of this is how fantastically positive everybody that I've come across, whether they be clinicians, nurses, anybody, have all been so fantastically positive. It's been a real, we're going to do this and it's going to be okay. And we are here to support you. And I think that has been, for me, the one thing that has really, really shone out through this.
Yes, definitely. And by the staff at the breast unit, once discovery had been made. I have had so many communications and I can't remember who they're from, but from all sorts of people on the study and from the unit itself. It's been amazing, so supportive.
I felt very well supported through the process, yes. I could see that all the people involved in it were very appreciative. And I finished up with a lovely certificate at the end, which is now on my wall at home, and it impresses everybody who comes to my house.
It makes research studies more patient-centered and patient-focused, and the insights that they can bring in are extremely valuable. As a result, it's quite important for them to take part in order to move research towards the future and make clinical studies that not only get data but also improve the quality of life of patients.
I mean, the two go together. I don't think you can have one effectively without the other. As I say, I've had nothing but positive experiences all the way through my journey. But I want to know what's happening. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what that does and why that happens. And when I had my biopsy, which was really at the very beginning, the lovely man who was doing it, I think, was actually quite shocked by the amount of questions I was asking while he was doing it. Because from where I was laid, I could actually see where he was going to take his samples and one thing and another. And that was absolutely fascinating for me to think that there was this thing inside my body. So I wanted to ask him questions about, how do you do that? How does that happen? What happens next? What happens to it? And there was some of the research team there as well, because they were having some of those samples to go off and be somewhere else. And I think he was actually quite surprised by the fact that I actually wanted to know. And when he came up to see me on the ward afterwards, we had quite a chat, and it was lovely. And that really, for me, gave me a tremendous amount of confidence. And I think that's what the collaboration between clinician and patient gives the patient. It gives them confidence. I accept that some clinicians don't find that too comfortable, but it makes such a tremendous amount of difference to the patient in terms of their, not just their confidence in the individual, but their confidence in the process. Actually, this person in a white coat does know what they're doing, and they might not be saying very much, but it's, there is a plan.
In any illness, I suppose, all our experiences are individual, and it's not a case of one size fits all. So the more people with different experiences who are involved in it, the more knowledge is available, and I guess the more it benefits, the more people.
I think you need the support from patients from all different walks of life, because the healthy ones as well as the non-healthy. As in my case, I thought I was perfectly healthy, and through this research, it's picked up things earlier for me.
I think people aren't content anymore just to have things done to them because it needs to be done. I think most people, if you gave them the opportunity, would probably want a degree of knowledge. They might not want to know all the gory ins and outs. One of the things I wanted to know about was why did it happen? And if you turn around and say, well, we don't really know, that's fine. But at least you get a response. And I think most people would want that. Most people would want to be able to ask questions and have that rapport with the person who is going to be doing whatever it is they're doing.
I wish more researchers knew about the everyday struggles that a patient is going through, because sometimes researchers care more about clinical outcomes, clinical data, and academic data, and that's okay. But patients also have their own struggles and their own things that they worry about. A diagnosis can have a big impact to someone, and as a result, it's important to take these things into consideration in order to direct the studies and not only offer better treatments, but also improve their quality of life.
Ask the questions. What does it involve? What do you want me to do? Because I think once you start talking about research to most people, I think they think about little furry animals in cages and people being cut up into little bits, and it isn't like that at all. It's the dialogue, isn't it? It's about finding out what makes the patient tick, really. And I think giving people the opportunity to take part, I think they'd be more confident about it, really. I think some of it is I can understand people being scared and being worried, absolutely. But I think it's getting the message across that from it comes such amazing things, like being able to detect cancer under a scanner is just incredible.
Just do it. Nothing more I can say than that. Just do it. If you yourself don't end up getting the help, somebody else might. And a few years earlier, the more research we do.
I would say do it. It's very important, and we need it. Basically, people can make a difference, and even though it's normal that you will have questions and concerns, I would really encourage you to ask as many questions as you can. Speak with the research team. They're amazing. They answer all the questions. They tend to the people, and I'm pretty sure at the end you will be happy to take part in the research study. It will help to bring the research to the future, and I encourage everyone to participate.
I'd say just do it. There's no reason for not doing it. Just do it. It's quite probably going to be very helpful to lots of people in the future. And I'm sure I have benefited from research that other people have done in the past on ovarian cancer. So I would say it makes you feel good doing it. And you get a certificate at the end.